And we're live. So thank you guys so much for, taking the time to speak with us. I know it is a bit early morning for you guys. But thank you so much for joining us. So with the decode season, fully kicked off now and, being a few months into the season,
Hmm.
how has like the robot design been going for you guys and like robot iterations?
We've definitely learned a lot. Front intake has definitely like been our largest change overall. The turret shooter design that we originally went for still remains pretty like overall good, I'd say, in the meta. But we've definitely think that wider intake for three balls at once is like definitely improved upon. And also uptake rollers don't seem to be as popular as we thought they would be. The people were using them more for internal like transfer and stuff rather than their main set of roles. Um, yeah, people were trying to go for like a more flat, like kind of like DCS's roller. I've seen that's like really popular.
Yeah, we've definitely seen that as well, especially here. We've seen a lot of, turret shooters. One big thing I think this season is that transfer system because you're going to see a lot of active intakes, and a lot of that same flywheel launcher system. But like
Hmm.
that transfer system is the one that's changing the most of our robots that we've been seeing so far. So how have you guys decided to do that, like that transfer, from getting it from your intake to your outtake?
Well, off of our old robot for our originals, we just had it as a direct line, so servo stopper, and it just went straight from intake up a ramp into shooter like final. But for our new robot that we're building, we're gonna have a kind of sorting transfer. So we're gonna have a three wide active intake, and then each one of those balls will fall into a slot, like straight from the active intake, and it will have like a boot kicker for a servo that pushes up the entire platform of the slot. And that's gonna be our sorting because there'll be color sensors in that, and then like pushing up that little slot that a ball will fit into, is gonna act as our sorting and transfer.
Okay, that's very interesting. Yeah, we kind of do a similar system at the moment. We have like our intake rollers, and then we put it into like a kind of a drum system for our sorting. So we have color sensors attached there as well. And then we just have like a single omni wheel that allows us to lift our robot, lift the balls up into our shooter as well. And then we just launch from there. Um, have you guys how have you guys done how are you guys gonna do your sorting system? Is it gonna be like a drum system as well, or are you gonna have like multiple pathways within the robot, or?
It is kind of unconventional to be honest, but basically, we're trying to do as much like packaging as possible because our robot currently we've done some stuff to make it really big, and we're trying to like shorten down the front. But basically, it just straight after the main line of rollers, like directly underneath it. We just split it up into three platforms. And then the whole platform lives. So, um, we're also going to code it to autonomously sort depending on the like what's it, the mosaic of the
Yeah, like
oldest.
yeah, the pattern, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I can't remember the word for it this season. But yeah, so it's gonna just like run in the background, and it'll already know the pattern by the time we get there. So when we actually go into the zone, it's just gonna shoot straight away.
Gotcha. That's really cool actually.
Uh,
Yeah. You guys have any questions for us, robot wise or strategy wise?
Oh, definitely. What do you think the most popular drivetrain this season's been? Because I've seen so many different designs that like you've never seen into the deep.
Yeah, this season definitely we've seen like especially within our region we've seen like a good amount of drivetrains. We have two main ones that we see. We see the Mecanum, of course, the standard Mecanum, and not really seeing anything else. Actually, yeah, pretty much just the Mecanum. Um, I want to say we had one team that did Swerve one year, but or earlier this season, but I think they've switched to Mecanum now. So pretty much standard Mecanum, I think is gonna be the best bet for this season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any questions, Lockie?
I did have one, but I think it was already answered.
All right. Yeah.
For strategy, what do you guys think is gonna be the biggest thing this season? Because I know we have like you have the motifs, you also have just those ranking points, and as well as the parking and end game phase overall. Um, what do you think is like the biggest aspect this season?
I
Um.
think
Oh, you go.
uh,
You go.
okay, I think the biggest aspect of the season, like strategy wise, would probably have to be the um because in like regionals and nationals, most teams go more like quantity and they're very accurate, but then when you get to internationals, you really want to work on your accuracy because then you can also get the motif color score, which like easily like if you get that every time, then it like triples your score. It's like really good for worlds, I reckon.
Yeah, I
Mm.
agree, definitely. I think it is more challenging as well to get the motif score, because you got to score I think about 16 of them, and then have they have to be all accurate as well. So definitely, yeah, I definitely think that's a big play as well. What about the base parking for lifting your robot, trying to get two in there?
Really depends on the other person in your alliance, I reckon. So it's
Yeah.
hard to predict what.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Are you guys working on implementing something to allow you to raise the robot?
We instead of doing like a full kind of lift, because we were going to do something like that with box tube, but just because of how long it takes, especially when it's eating into your time where you could be doing more cycling, we're just going to do like a tilt mechanism instead, because it's just like way faster and you get the same results anyway. Especially if your alliance has a tilt, then it's just like both really fast compared to a double park and same
Yeah.
points. So,
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. If you can cover off those leftover points from the park and while you're cycling, then it definitely makes more sense to just keep cycling at that point and you know just do partial park. Um, yeah, definitely agree with that. Yeah, trying to think what else. How's programming been? Programming this year?
oh, neither of us are programmers, so we don't know too much about it. I'm not gonna lie to you, but um, I think it's definitely been a bit more of a challenge this year than into last seasons, especially with the sorting. Um, I know sorting has definitely been a bit of a bigger thing just because of how like the state machine and it has to always be running in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And
Definitely.
if the balls and stuff are getting like knocked around in your sorter, it can like the same sensor can see two different colors and just kind of having routines to like manage that and stuff. So it's like if they're getting bumped, all that. I know shooting as well has definitely been a pretty hard thing, like the velocity and stuff. Adjustable hood. If any teams are running adjustable hood, that can be a bit hard to implement. Mm.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. Um, I guess more on the strategy side then, like how big do you think the human player aspect's gonna be? Because I know they said that you can, of course, like now you can have the human player and the robot in the same plane, at the same time, and you can have that like kind of mini contact between them.
Mm.
So how do you think teams are gonna, I guess, use that to their advantage, or if it would be just like if it'd be a disadvantage, or you know?
Um, yeah, I don't think it's going to be like that impactful for gameplay, to be honest. In our regionals, especially, we still like most teams use human player intake, which saves a lot of time, like not having to build it active, but it's like slower cycles overall. Um, our main strategy for our regionals was to keep cycling with ground intake, and then for like the last 10 seconds, 8 seconds ish of end game, we'd go over and use all of our human player artifacts and just score those really quickly from back zone and then park straight away. Just because there's like way less driving in between those two spaces. Um, I think starving as well is really popular in meta, where you like on purposely try and take out as many artifacts as you can into human player storage.
Yeah.
That I've seen a lot of people do that. It seems pretty good.
Yeah, that's definitely that's another big thing. Like we had our meet yesterday, and one of the biggest things that we see is that if there's one really powerful team on an alliance, then you find all of the artifacts getting stuck in your opposite player, the opposite alliance, human player zone, and
Mm.
in that case, like because of how many penalties you get from entering that zone, and if someone rams into you and you get the major fouls, like there are so many points you can occur that it's like not even worth taking the risk of going to collect the artifacts from there if there's so many and there's robots guarding it. And like I feel like that's also like a really big thing this season is how to avoid that same situation of having all the artifacts in one human player zone.
Mm.
Trying to think what else. If you guys have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer as well. So
Oh, cheers, bro. Actually, do you have a question? Are you doing adjustable hood on your shooter?
we are trying to, yeah, we're trying to implement a turret system at the moment. So we definitely do want to get that. up and running
Yeah,
as well.
it's
I
definitely
also
worth it.
I also have a question.
Yeah,
Are you doing the raising for the park?
I think we definitely want to do it, but we're still in the process of like weighing out pros and cons and if it is it worth it or like can we just
Yeah.
increase our cycle times and cycle twice as many and twice to three times as many in that same amount of time.
Mm.
So I know you haven't thought about it much, but if you were to do it, how do you think you would go about it?
I don't build on the build often, but from what I would do, from like what I would to do think to do from like looking at other teams, is maybe having some sort of like slide system or like linear rail system and kind of figure out a way to put it like either in the middle of the robot on the sides, as a like a sort of like an actuator system to lift the robot up and get it to a height that we're finding where all the robots can comfortably fit under. Um, of course, that being like, we can't make it go all the way to 18 to accommodate every robot, but enough to where our robot won't be in jeopardy from being that high in the air and potentially being knocked around or whatever as a robot
Mm.
comes under us. So
Yeah.
I think that's definitely a way. Um,
Yeah, I think we talked Lachlan. I think we talked about linear rails. I think they're going to be one of the better options. Like they're super compact, and the
Mm,
torque on them is like crazy if you gear them up enough.
yeah.
yeah, they're also extremely sturdy compared to like, having regular linear slides and not as complex in a way.
They're definitely my favorite from past experience.
I'm trying to think. Oh, one big thing this season is they've changed, the pointing system to advance to, further
Yeah.
competitions. So what are your thoughts on that? Because I know it's a huge change from not having like Inspire and, you know,
Mm.
winning alliance captain automatically advancing to, Inspire second and third or just, points now and you don't have a confirmed seat anymore. Like
Mm. Yeah. Well, I don't hate the change. I don't love it either because like if it was last season we would have called to Nats, but we didn't call because we got Think Award and Think Award doesn't call anymore. Like it's that point system you're saying. Our robot performance was pretty cooked. Um, but yeah, I think overall it is a more positive change. They could still like balance it out a bit more. Like change some point values for the awards, but yeah, I think it's a bit better overall than the old system. Robot game has like always been the biggest part of FTC, and now it's like being highlighted as more important as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Mm.
I think having most of the awards around, is it 15 points?
I think
Yeah,
so, yeah.
I think they should change them, like change the values. I don't think they should have every single award besides the Inspire ones be all the same. But I think it's definitely like it's gonna like the first season they implement it. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of controversy, but I think it's going to be pretty good in the long run because it's like more fair.
Yeah, definitely. I think it gives more teams a chance to also advance to, further competitions, and it gives them a chance to attend a lot of those new events as well, especially with a lot of the premier events happening.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah,
but I think yeah, they definitely should look at some rebalancing in my opinion. There is some of the awards like Inspire third place only being 15 points is kind of
Yeah, that's
crazy
actually
and
crazy. Yeah.
like you're working so hard for this event and you don't even get to advance possibly depending on how many points you've ranked up. So
Mm.
I think definitely it'll be interesting to see, especially coming up to like especially coming up to bigger competitions like the first championship and whatnot.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So, one question with your odometry. What type of odometry system do you guys use?
We use Google to pinpoint and the modules that come with that. We've definitely like tried some other ones, but Go Builder Pinpoint is just really like user friendly and it's just really consistent. We get like barely any drift throughout the whole round, and realistically, it's like really easy to reset like once or twice anyway in a match if you have to. But yeah, Go Builder Pinpoint definitely meta.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We tried doing our own custom odometry, and it's not nothing compared to what GoBuild is now offering. So,
Mm.
definitely, definitely a bigger time there. Um, so one question about electrical. big, completely different switch. But one thing that we kind of see sometimes is, a lot of snagging within wires. So, how do you guys try to optimize your entire system for wiring to prevent the snagging or, any like ripping of the cable sheathing or, anything on that aspect?
Well, we've actually had a lot of problem with that ourselves, and we've done like many methods, even like combining like four methods to try to fix it. Um, though one of the things you could do is like heating up the wire braiding to keep them in place, or you could use like bungee to give it that stretch but still like return to its original like spot, or you could like put a plate behind it and then have it like slide back into the plate when it retracts.
Mm.
And we found all of those were pretty good, and they all pretty worked pretty well.
Yeah, we did have a lot of issues with our like turret wiring. That was our main thing. All of our other wiring though, um, it's pretty easy not to snag and stuff. All you just custom length cables and crimps on like all that kind of stuff. Cable braid and then like a ridiculous amount of zip ties. Um, we mount our plates like our control hubs and stuff onto the inner side plates so that they just can't get like bumped or anything. No DCs with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. We tried mounting our control hubs and everything on the bottom this time, and it's worked to an extent, but like at the same time, like for accessing it and whatnot, it kind of
Yeah.
gets intertwined with everything else, especially with like drivetrain motors and whatnot. Um, yeah, trying to think of what else. Um, so what size shooter do you guys have right now? Like what size flywheel do you guys use?
We've got the Go Builder. It's like the 72A, I think, Rhino wheels.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
yeah, we use the same things as well. Yeah.
yeah, it's so good that they came back in stock because we like bought like our last order of them, and then they went out of stock, and we're like, oh, we're gonna have to change the cab. Can't believe this. Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely work, especially with keeping that compression there as well, uh,
Mm.
during the entire match. So they're really good.
Yeah, we love them.
What do you guys cat in?
We use Autodesk Inventor, like the student version.
Okay.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, we use SolidWorks. And we found great success over there as well. So
Mhm. Yeah, we like only use Autodesk softwares for that, to be honest. We used to use like a bit of Fusion, but like Fusion's kind of chopped Inventor's like controls and stuff. Like the whole system was just way better.
yeah, we've tried a bunch of different softwares. I think we've found SolidWorks to be the best for us. Um, but yeah, maybe I'll look into Inventor and
It's pretty
yeah,
good,
that
like
really
from not gonna lie.
yeah. So how's your overall competition season been going for you guys?
We've been to a couple regional events, but sadly haven't been able to progress past regionals. But we still have plans for this season. Still gonna try our hardest and build hopefully the best robot.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah, we had a bunch like just with all the new stuff this season, like the sorting. We had a bunch of issues, and like we overcomplicated our design for originals way too much. Um, and yeah, we've definitely like learned a lot from that. Just get something like more simple and consistent rather than like a really really good robot for regionals.
yeah, that makes sense. So how does advancements work for you guys in Australia? Is it like regionals and like a inter championship and then internationals?
Yeah,
um,
so we just have regionals, and then qualifying that to our nationals. I think there's like 25 to 30 spots, something like that. And then nationals there's 5 spots to what? No, yeah, 4 or 5 spots to worlds, and then another 5 for premier events after that.
Okay, so you guys are on the regional part now, so to go to qualifiers after.
Oh no, our Nats
Oh,
has finished already. Yeah,
oh, okay, wow, oh, interesting. Okay,
yeah, it was super early.
oh, wow, yeah. Ours is all the way in March, so You
Oh,
know, it is huge jump. We played throughout the entire like year up until February is when our league qualifiers are, and then we have our states in
wow.
March, and then we worlds in April. So wow, that is a huge difference.
Yeah, we've already competed at two regionals, so that's kind of
Wow,
crazy.
that is very good, very cool. Yeah. Um, do you guys have any more questions for me?
Um, not that I could think of.
Yeah, I got one more for you.
Yeah.
What do you think about Spin Dexter? Like, what's your opinions on that?
Spindexer.
Yeah, like the sorting.
Um, we kind of, have something like that in a way. Um, we have like kind of like that drum system as well.
Yeah.
So, it's like it's worked for us, um, to an extent. There are definitely some downsides with it being slow.
Mm,
Um, but I think, with a little more iteration, it could definitely work, and we've definitely seen teams like, on Instagram and whatnot that have very fast designs for that as well. Um, so I think it could be good, um, but definitely need some iteration.
yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that's all I have. So unless you guys have
Yeah.
anything else,
No more questions here. Anything, Lachlan?
No.
sounds good. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us, or
Thank you.
joining me. Thank you. We really appreciate it. We know, of course it's early for you guys. Um, but yeah, that's all I have. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks a
Yeah.
lot.
Have a good day or night wherever you are.
Thank you. Perfect. Just ended. Thank you guys so much for, joining us.